evening, and welcome to another episode of Tokyo Reds. We're Liverpool fans based in the land of the rising sun, and tonight we're doing our second attempt of the Arsenal review. Yours truly messed up the first one. I forgot to turn the microphone on. It's a pretty good video if you want to watch us for a good 20 minutes. Two handsome lads. Very animated, but in silence, unfortunately. I would recommend it. Should be on the bloopers at the end of this one. This guy does some great editing. But yeah, we're here today to review Liverpool's victory over Arsenal. And you know what? It's a couple of days ago, but I'm still happy to review it because it was just such a good feeling to win again, wasn't it, John? And I'll ask John, how important was that win? I mean, current form, especially the fact Arsenal are a rival now for the top four.
Yeah, it's really important, isn't it? Because it's not just important that we won that game, but it's important that Man United and Everton lost their games. So, it's pretty big, actually, because it kind of put us back in the top four. I know Arsenal have got a game in hand, but, it's put us it's given us a little gap between the people who are catching up behind us, and yeah, hopefully it'll lead on to better things this weekend.
And like you say, it's key as well because United actually could have taken us over, but they love being sick. They drew with Bournemouth 1-1, which was great, especially the fact Bournemouth went down to 10 men. And actually, since those games, of course, Everton lost. Man City last night. Obviously, everyone's talking about Barcelona. Well done to Barcelona. That was fantastic. They scored 6 in honour of Man U for their position. But it was fantastic. But since then, actually, Man City, they played Stoke. That hasn't really made the headlines, but they drew at home with Stoke last night. 0-0. They drew a blank. So Liverpool, I think we're about 4 points behind them. But we go to the Etihad, same amount of games played. We're 4 points off them. All of a sudden, it's like actually third is now within sight. But I will say, sorry, back to the game. Sorry, guys, not my best. But I will say, back to the Arsenal game. It was such a lightning start from Liverpool, which was so key. John, the first goal, of course, Lallana picks it up. He draws out the Arsenal defence. He plays it to Mane. Firmino then goes out left while Mane's on the right, and he plays it across to him. Firmino, was that first touch? Was it an extra touch or was it a mistake? So a great finish. What do you think of it?
I think it was a bit of both, to be honest with you. I'm going to be completely honest. It comes across, and I think he wants to have a touch and then put it in, but his touch is maybe a bit heavy or it's a bit, off-centered. But he makes up for it by scoring. What a goal it was, and like you said, it was great to see us come off the trap so fast. There's so much energy because normally it takes us to like the 65th minute before we start putting a shift in, and we just got the business done straight away in this game.
And that's the thing. It's debatable. Was it? Yeah. Was it intentional? Was it an accident? But Arsenal's defence is that bad. It didn't matter. He still got plenty of time to have a shot. Great goal. Really good teamwork as well. Lallana, Mane, and Firmino. And then of course the second goal, Firmino returns the compliment to Mane. He draws out a couple of Arsenal defenders. He's in the box, and Mane, the space he finds himself in the penalty area. Arsenal at Anfield. I mean, most teams, literally, they just fill it with about 10 bodies plus their goalkeeper. So yeah, 11 bodies in total. But sorry, I'm doing a terrible job, guys. But they fill up the penalty area. Mane, the space he's got. Check, in my opinion, no chance. What a finish. And that confidence, that teamwork. Second goal, your feelings, John?
Yeah, it's a hard finish, isn't it? Because it goes straight across the goalkeeper. I don't really think Czech can do much about that goal, just because of the angle where it is. But the defending was awful. I shouldn't say, you can't even really call it defending. It was just players just standing, watching football getting played around. It was kind of like what Arsenal do to other teams. You know what I mean? And it was shocking to see. No wonder they've conceded 10 goals against Bayern Munich. Because we're not world class, but Bayern Munich are. And it was easy for us. It's easily to see why they conceded so many goals over the two legs. It was just terrible. It wasn't defending. It was shocking.
And I will say, obviously at that point, we go 2-0 up. We're really feeling confident at that point. I honestly thought it could be like the 5-1 a few years ago. It's like, actually, at this point, we've had these, we've broken numbers. They look very low on confidence. In 40 minutes, obviously, we'll get onto it later in the review. But some of the fans did start the Wenger out protest at 40 minutes when their team are 2-0 behind in a big game. Guys, I'm not an Arsenal fan. I know a lot of Arsenal fans, but that's, in my opinion, you should wait until the end of the match to do that sort of stuff. Um, but obviously, it worked to Liverpool's benefit. Second half, Sanchez comes on. Of course, the big talking point was Sanchez was dropped. We don't know, but apparently there was a big row between the players. John, in your opinion, was it right for Wenger to drop Sanchez if that was the case?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because he's so like vital to their success. You know, he is like their talisman, and you know it's pretty hard to, be held in that such high regard in the Arsenal side because they have some pretty good players. But it's one of them. It's like you. I think if he does play him, it kind of like compromises his authority. You know what I mean? It's like, so I can kind of see some of the reasons why he dropped him, but not in the big games. You've got to have your big players in the big games. And as soon as Sanchez wasn't in that team, I was like, you know what I mean? It's like, well, it doesn't matter who's in defence for us now. you know, um, I'm not going to say it was a bad decision, but I can see why he did it. You know what I mean? We just finished talking about. I actually breathe that smoke right down my throat.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we just talked about what was a good decision with Sanchez. I think literally I just finished saying my point.
Right. Okay.
Then,
5,
yeah.
4, 3. Sorry about that, guys. We just had a
Fucking
yeah.
technical difficulties, mate.
Yeah, technical difficulties, if you will. But we're okay now, we think. But yeah, obviously Sanchez comes on, and he comes on. He doesn't score the goal, but his impact, he draws out about, I think it's 3 Liverpool players. He draws to him when he picks up the ball. He puts a fantastic ball through for Welbeck. Welbeck gets through one-on-one with Mignolet. Mignolet spreads his body, can't do much. It's almost a perfectly timed chip. And literally Clavan, he tries his best. He's inches away from it. I don't think Liverpool could have done any more with the defence. And it's kind of, yeah, we conceded, but it's actually refreshing to be like, well, we didn't concede through... we didn't. It wasn't self-inflicted that we conceded the goal. John, your thoughts on their goal?
Yeah, I think we are a little at fault for their goal just because, obviously Sanchez when he comes on, our kind of game changes a bit, and we're like trying to man mark him almost, and I think there's too many players committed to him. I think it's like Matip, Clavin, and who else? I'm sure there's and Chan maybe, like sort of like centered towards him, and it's one of them where if you just have 2 players going towards him, I can get that, and you get one who's going to try and anticipate where he's going to go. But we didn't, and everyone just kind of panics and gets, which it's Sanchez, right? But yeah, credit where it's due. Welbeck, it's a good pass, it's a good finish. He chips it. I don't think there's anything Mignolet can do. He covers his post, he goes down for, so it was one of them. It was a good goal. You've got to give hats off to them. That's what they do best. Those what's the word I'm looking for? Like those really well built up goals, and it's a typical Arsenal goal, right? Besides walking it in, but
Yeah. No, it was fair play to them. I think my frustration at the time, because Mignolet, actually credit to Mignolet, he had pulled off a really good save against Giroud at the start of the second half. He'd saved it onto the bar. That was really key as well, but it was one of those where I got really scared as a Liverpool fan, because I was watching the match live. I got really scared because I thought to myself, hang on, we've dominated the first half. This is a game we could have put it out of sight. Now we've conceded, and now Sanchez is on the pitch, and I'm thinking, hang on, if they get a draw from this match, I'm going to feel really frustrated. We shouldn't be in a position that we could be drawing this match, but of course we didn't, thankfully. But as the game went on, Arsenal did give us some very nervy moments, but very, very late on, because I think it's it's Sanchez. He gets a shot in the box. Great block by Matip. Then Liverpool counter. Lallana, absolutely fantastic build-up. Very, very patient, very clever. Outside of his boot, puts the ball through to Origi. Origi to Van Alden. Van Alden first touch. He's done against Man City. He's done against Chelsea, and now he's done against Arsenal. And at 3-1 at that point, the 3 points are definitely coming to Liverpool. John, what were your feelings on that third goal?
Yeah, it was really good, wasn't it? Like the ball, it kind of just falls to Lallana, doesn't it? And the touch he has on it is amazing. I think that was like the story of the game, was like him and especially Mane. It was like Suarez-esque at times, like how good their control was and how good their composure was, especially with that third goal. he gets it, and a lot of other players may just try to keep running with it and try to keep going and see what happens, because it's the end of the game. But he doesn't. He turns, bides his time, and it's a perfectly weighted ball to Origi. And then again, his is the exact same. It's such a perfect ball to Wijnaldum. Everyone's just in the right position at the right time for the maneuver to pull off. And yeah, it's a beautiful goal. It's really, really good. It's one of the best goals I've seen us score this season. It was fantastic.
I thought the same. Just really good understanding between the players, linking up, and also the confidence, because it was one of those with Liverpool. Sometimes we have our goal droughts, that sort of thing. But in a Klopp team, especially those players, Lallana, who's been fantastic this season, Ronaldo and Origi, I'm looking at them and I feel like we're going to get a goal from it. I do feel a lot of confidence in Liverpool now. Obviously, massive, massive win. From our point of view, I think it's key. I mean, we've beat all these top teams in the kind of, beat all the teams above us. We have. Sorry, what's wrong with me?
Yeah, have we beat everyone?
We haven't beat Man United, but they're below us.
That's true. Yeah, there you go.
We beat Tottenham, City, Chelsea away. But sorry, sorry guys, I'm having a shocker tonight. There's a reason I'm not a normal host. But I will say it's a massive win to Liverpool. But of course, it's been talked a lot because since that result, Wenger, he lost again. Arsenal lost 5-1 in the Champions League at home to Munich.
Twice.
Yeah, twice. If you click in Bayern 5, Arsenal 1, there'll be a lot of searches, some in Germany, some in the Emirates. But yeah, it's one of those with Wenger. I know it's a Liverpool fan show. We got a bit Arsenal centric in the preview. But with Wenger, John, what do you think is the best thing for Arsenal? And also, what do you think is the best thing for Wenger? Because he's achieved a hell of a lot with that club, but things don't look like they're going forward, and they look like they're in kind of regression at the moment.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because he's done so much. He is a good manager. And obviously the club want him. He's developed so many good players, so much good talent over the years. He doesn't really, buy too many players either. So he's a good manager. He is a good manager. And I don't really understand why they're going on about a trophy drought. A lot of the fans, they've just won. Well, not last year, but they won back-to-back FA Cups, right? So he has. Maybe it's not what they want, but fuck me, it's like they have got it good. Like we've, look at what has happened with us. It's like we were in the top 4, quite consistently, albeit 1 or 2 seasons. But and we were reaching finals as well. But now it's like, all right, we reached those 2 finals last year, but we've fallen out the top 4. We're not really the powerhouse that we were, and they've had it like consistently for that many years. But on the other hand, the club has a lot of glaring problems. Like the team has a lot of glaring problems. Like they need a decent striker. They have done for years. But they probably need better defenders, more robust defenders. And he hasn't fixed that problem, and he's had long enough time to fix those problems, and he hasn't. So you've got to think is it that he hasn't been given the support, which I think he has. So then the other alternative is just, he's kind of maybe peaked, as sad as it is to say. And, and you got to think who else are they going to get, really. It's one of them. It's a difficult role to fill in, it's like almost like Ferguson and Mourinho. Well, no, sorry. What I mean is it's like Ferguson leaving and then who did you fill that up with? Luckily they got David Moyes, so that worked out pretty well for them. But yeah, it's one of them. It's like, should he stay? Should he go? Maybe he probably should go, but on his terms. And I think that Arsenal fans deserve to give him that kind of respect.
I think it was Ian Wright who said, actually, in fairness, because of what he achieved with the club, he should go on his terms. He's earned that right. But I will say it's one of those with Wenger. I mean, I mentioned it in the preview. Before that, it was Bruce Rioch. He was only there about a season. George Graham had been manager, and of course at that time it was boring Arsenal. It was actually a really defensive team. They had Seaman in goal, Winterburn, Adams, Dixon, Keown in the defence. In fairness, very, very solid back 4. Wenger then inherited that team. He came in, he got the likes of Bergkamp, he got the likes of Henry, Overmars, Petit, Vieira, you can name them. And he did create an invincible side, which, I mean, they did win the Premier League, they won the FA Cup, they won a couple of doubles. I think the thing that will always get him though, the thing that I think will always haunt him is that he lost that Champions League final in 2006. That was a year after Istanbul. Show that in, but they were desperately unlucky. I mean, whether you like them or not, to be objective, they were winning 1-0 for most of that match with 10 men. Jens Lehmann got sent off in the 12th minute, and then they conceded two against Barcelona, who are kind of up and coming to what they are now. If he had won that, maybe, just maybe, they would have been that bit more of a force in Europe. But of course, that's the one thing kind of hanging over him.
Yeah, to be fair, they're still kind of a force in Europe, you know what I mean? Like, alright, they didn't get to a final again, but, you know, they've had some pretty good... I mean, I remember that game we had against them was 4-3? 4-2, that was... Yeah, and, you know, when... You know, every time we drew them, I was like, oh, you know, this is... You know, this could be trouble here. You know, they did finish second last year as well, you know what I mean? Everyone forgets that. They did, like, the last day of the season or whatever, they finished second. You know, yeah, there's still a powerhouse and stuff. You know, to be fair as well with Munich, the second leg, they went down to 10 men. Like, if you give me a list of teams that don't get absolutely their heads bent against Bayern Munich down to 10 men, you know, there's a very few amount of teams. Probably no teams. You know what I mean? So, you know, they're still a good side, but they need a leader, and they've never really found a proper leader since Vieira. And I think that's a big issue with them as well. There's no kind of like heroes in the team anymore, and I think that's just a problem with a lot of Premiership sides at the moment. Yeah, so I think that's one of the biggest issues. What I would have said though is like, it is kind of okay for saying yeah, he should leave in his own time, but it's kind of like the whole, you know, like Caesar thing. It's kind of like, you know, you get voted in and then you're like, nah, actually I'm going to stay for a while. You know what I mean? It's kind of, it turns into like a bit of a dictatorship, even though it's only football. But
It's a mad one with Wenger, because I saw a comment on Croydon, a comment that I saw, was literally, you can live young and die as a hero, or you can grow old and become a villain. And I feel like with Wenger, it's almost becoming that now, which is really sad, because in fairness, like what he did, not just for Arsenal, what he's done for English football, he has, you know, he's really like improved like the the physio, like the health, etc. He's done a lot for football, and I'll be honest, that's obviously we are Liverpool fans. We just want that on the record, but
yeah.
he did do a lot for Arsenal, and he did do a lot for English football. Like Arsenal, at one time, they were a very exciting team to watch. You know, Man U, sometimes they'd be winning titles, but they were getting really really kind of scruffy wins. Arsenal, in fairness, like if they're on the telly, I'd happily watch them play, especially when they're hammering United. But like, it was actually exciting football to watch, and to an extent, it is still exciting. But of course, they're not getting the results. But yeah, with Wenger, obviously we're Liverpool fans, so we can't make that decision. We're not paying to go to the Emirates every other week or travelling to away games, so we don't know. But back to Liverpool, John, who is your man of the match?
it was hard to choose. It's mad, even though he doesn't score.
Oh, I'll have to.
I was gonna say what's okay. Even though he doesn't score, I'd say Lallana. It was just like his like attacking flair and his positioning and his ability to dispossess. It was just like perfect gegenpressing. It was like gegenpressing at its finest. That's what I meant to say. He was unbelievable. You know, I know Mane scores one and sets up one, and he was unbelievable too. But just for the beginning of that last goal, I was like, oh man, Lallana was so good that game.
It's nice to have that many contenders for man of the match. I thought Lana had a great game. For me, I'm going to give it to Mane. I thought Mane, he's involved in the first goal, and the second, of course, he scores. Great strike. Overall, I thought he had an excellent game. But you know what? A lot of players did, and it's so pleasing to say that. Guys, sorry that the review was done a bit later than planned, but we won 3-1. We're currently back in the top 4. John, can we get top 4? I know we've still got 12 games to go, but can we get top 4?
Yeah, we can, but I think on paper we are the most, at the moment, where I think we're the most unlikely to be in top 4. If you look at kind of, actually, well, you know, I know they're like City and whatnot, they've all got pretty big games coming up, haven't they? And we've kind of done all big games now, but it's not the big games we have to worry about. It's the lesser, well, not lesser, but like the weaker sides. Yeah, I think if we go on a little bit of a streak, we can really, I think we can finish pretty strong. You know, considering like the maddest thing about us is like we've won 2 games in like what, 2017, and we're still 5th. You know, Man United still, we're 4th even. Sorry, we're 4th, and you know, like no one behind us has been able to catch up to us. you know, and they've all gone on. Everton have gone on a pretty good run. United have gone on to like pretty good, steady sixth position run. Haven't they got? Yeah, they got the record, haven't they, for like most consistent weeks?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, me too. But no one's been able to make ground on us. It's just been the people up top have kind of, even they haven't broke away from us too much, you know. So it's kind of, it's mental how good we were. To like that we need to find that form again. If we can find that form again, no problem.
And yeah, we'll end on that note. I personally think we can get top four. People are saying that Arsenal miss out, but you know what? Wenger always finds a way. That's our last bit of Arsenal centricity on the show, but he does normally find a way.
Who would finish outside then?
Who would finish outside?
City.
I think City could. City could. I mean, the key thing for Liverpool is just focus on ourselves. But I think we've got a really good chance. But then our form has been so erratic. I'm gonna wait until the next few games. But I really hope we get top four. But it's a really difficult one because the way we started 2017, you don't know which Liverpool is turning up. I hate saying that, but
That's the thing. It's like that's realistically, I think the only two people will overtake is City and Arsenal, unless you know like Chelsea fucking lose their minds.
Tottenham. Sorry, Tottenham fans, if you're watching, but Tottenham always seem to do it. Tottenham.
Yeah, true. Actually, yeah. Tottenham. See you later.
Last year they were in a two-horse race. They finished third somehow. But who knows? You know what? That's the exciting thing about football, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyone can finish anywhere. Well, anyone could finish anywhere. But guys, we're going to end on that note. Sorry, this review is late. We hope you enjoyed what you saw, and yeah, enjoy the bloopers as well, guys. Thanks very much. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Good evening and welcome to another episode of Tokyo Reds. We're Liverpool fans based in the rising sun. In the land of the rising sun. Fuck's sake, second time. And yeah, I'll just say. Oh, hello. Oh, just filming a video. Hello. Hello.